Okay. The Dominican African American is back with another video. Glad to be back. Today, I'm going to be talking about how Trump winning the election could impact the Dominican Republic. All right. The Airbnb gift card giveaway is still in effect. There's 3 spots left to enter. All you got to do is comment on the video. To guarantee a slot, all you got to do is share a video to your feed or to your story and tag me in it. That's it. Or go and head on over to the traveling merch shop and pick you out some traveling merch. Okay. So I want to make something clear first. I'm not a Trumpster or a Kamala-like. I can give 2 fucks about the both of them. All right. My channel is centered around the Dominican Republic, and with Trump winning, I thought it would be a good idea to share how it could impact the Dominican Republic and the Dominican people. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything. All right. Also, I want to cite my sources. All right. We got the Associated Press, the ASCOA, the U.S. News and World Report, the State Department of the Dominican Republic, Al Jazeera, CSIS, and Wikipedia. Okay. So now, a lot of the terms are like in political jargon, and I know that can be kind of confusing for a lot of people. So I'm going to like oversimplify the hell out of it so that like a second grader can understand it. Also, you're near my window, so if you hear a lot of cars whipping by, that's, you know, I live in the city, so forgive me for that. But let's get straight to it. Now, there's a few things that could happen. Now, again, none of this stuff is a guarantee. I'm not a fortune teller, none of that shit. But, you know, him winning may or may not have an impact on the Dominican Republic. So first things first is the economic growth and the trade agreements that's between, you know, America and the DR. So with Trump winning, you know, he emphasizes a bilateral trade deal, which could lead to stronger direct agreements between the U.S. and the Dominican Republic. Well, what does that mean? Okay. Essentially, it means more business with the U.S. All right. If Trump wins, he might make new deals between the U.S. and the Dominican Republic. This can mean more American people buy things like food, clothes, and other products for the Dominican Republic. More business means more jobs and money. All right. Now, on the contrary, like, he might also change the rules for buying and selling things between the U.S. and the Dominican Republic. This can make it harder for Dominicans to sell things like clothes and food. So it's really what he wants to do. All right, it could. We don't know. That it remains to be seen what direction he wants to take. It can mean more business for the people in the DR or less. Right. Also, next, immigration and Dominicans living in the U.S. So we know he's big on immigration and all of that. So he might make it harder for people from other countries to live in the U.S. This could mean more Dominicans that are living in the U.S. might be sent back home to the DR. Now, I had a friend during Trump's administration who's Mexican who was sent back to Mexico. So it definitely does happen. More people being sent back. All right. And it could happen again. Also, less money sent to the DR. Well, what does this mean? Many Dominicans in the U.S. send money back to their families. All right. And if it's harder for them to stay, the people that's sending money back, if it's harder for them to stay in the U.S., their families might get less money to help pay for food and bills. So this is obviously a bad thing. Okay. Next, money and jobs in the DR. Okay. Or we just talked about, you know, trading food and stuff, clothes, food, and things of that nature. So I'm not going to repeat that. But tourism. This is a big one. This could actually help the DR. So there's fewer tourists visiting. The U.S. has the most people who visit the Dominican Republic for vacation. Okay, if Trump changes the rules for travel, or if the economy gets worse, fewer Americans might come to visit. But here's why it could be a beneficial a benefit. So obviously we know he doesn't like Cuba or anything like that. He doesn't want a lot of Americans going to Cuba. So if he makes it harder for them to go to Cuba, more people might choose the DR as their destination as opposed to Cuba, which means more tourists in the DR. All right. Next, the relationship between the U.S. and the Dominican Republic. Now, almost like how some Dominicans want Haiti to kind of focus on themselves, well, we know that Trump usually focuses on American problems, okay, as opposed to helping other countries. This could mean the U.S. won't help the Dominican Republic with new projects and money. And also, we know that the DR they're in cahoots with China, and we know how Trump feels about China. So Trump, he's not going to like the idea of the DR working with China. So this can make things a little bit tricky for the DR. Trump might. All right, so with the China thing, he could either try to cut China out and become something that the DR wants to work with, or stop helping the DR entirely because they work with China in some regards. All right. Also, he might want to put more pressure on fighting crime. So Trump might want the Dominican Republic to work harder to stop drugs and crime. He could ask the country to do more with that problem. And also with people in the DR, they have mixed feelings about Trump. So there could be more divisions. So some people in the DR like Trump, some don't. This can make people argue more about politics and American ideas. So for the most part, it's a lot of bad that Trump is that he won in regards to the DR. But here are some good things. Sending money, because I know that's a big thing. Many Dominicans in the U.S. send money back to their families in the DR. If he makes it harder for people in the country to send money, there might be fewer immigrants from other places. Here's why this could be a good thing. This could help Dominicans keep a bigger part of the money sent home. The influence with China. Trump doesn't like having a lot of control in Latin America, like China having a lot of control in Latin America. He might want the U.S. to help countries like the Dominican Republic more. That's what I was saying earlier. This could mean more American money and help going to the DR instead of China investments. That's what I was talking about earlier. More jobs from the U.S. This is a good one. Trump likes it when American businesses do well. He might encourage American companies to build factories or offices in the DR because it's cheaper. And this could create more jobs for Dominicans. Better security and less crime. Like we talked about earlier, Trump wants to stop illegal activities like drug trafficking. He might give more help to the Dominican Republic to fight crime. If the country becomes safer, it's better for people living there and also attracts more visitors. And if he wants his America to do better, he's going to want skilled workers. So his immigration rules are strict, but he likes to give visas to people with special skills. This could help Dominican doctors, nurses, engineers get jobs in the U.S., which will allow them to send money back home to their family. So my views on everything is this. I can't get mad at somebody for wanting something better for their family, all right? I'm not getting political or trying to persuade people to agree or disagree or anything. Like I said, I'm not a Trumpster, I'm not a Kamala-like. That's not me. However, if there's a Dominican here who's working and he wants to send money to his family in the Dominican Republic, I don't have an issue with that. You know what I mean? And I think it'd be fucked up if it was taken away, if that was taken away from somebody, you know what I mean? Same goes with any country. If they're in Mexico, like if there's a lot of crazy things going on with the cartel and they want to get out of that environment, I think, hey, do what you got to do to, provide for your family. when I go on the visa website and I see how difficult it is to become an American, and here's what I mean by difficult, right? Because everybody says like, you know, do it legally, and I'm all for that, right? But to apply for citizenship, as you can see, I'm even having a fucking hard time trying to get to the basic drawing. All right, anyway, you could get citizenship through parents. If you have a U.S. citizen parent, which many people don't, you can acquire citizenship. Military service, special provisions, certain individuals such as refugees, asylees, those under specific humanitarian programs. What else? Naturalization. This is the most common route for foreign nationals. Key steps include permanent residency, obtain a green card by applying through family sponsorship. So if you don't have family in the U.S., how are you going to do it? Employment. If you don't have a job in the U.S., how are you going to do it? And or other eligible categories that remain to be listed. Residency requirements. Generally maintain lawful permanent resident status for at least 5 years. This period is reduced to 3 years if you're married. So if you get married to an American woman or man, you could do it that way. But I don't even want to go through the residency requirements. Just being able to stay here legally is the part that I want to get to because of how damn near impossible it is. Like tourism, you got your B1 visa, your B2 visa. Man, like you would think they would make this shit laid out for you, but it's just not the case. Look, I don't want to hold this shit up, but you got your tourism visa, your B1, B2, business, employment, study, and then your immigrant, all right, which is through family-based employment, adoption, special immigrant, which is based on categories, including formal U.S. and government employee, diversity visa, annual program, making limited number of visas available to persons who meet strict eligibility requirements from countries with low rates of immigration to the United States. Like, essentially what I'm trying to get at is you got to get a visa, right? To even come here. To get the visa, you got to put yourself in one of these categories: tourism, business, employment, study, immigrant, and other visa categories. All right. There is no, I don't have any, like let's say you're somebody who lives in, I don't know, Japan, DR. You don't have no family here in America. The fact, just picture that. The fact that you want to do it legally, but you can only do it through one of these ways. You either get married, maybe you don't want to get married, maybe you're not ready to get married. Employment, someone has to quote unquote sponsor you. So if you don't even know the language, the English language, you don't know anybody in America, how are you going to get this quote unquote employment sponsorship? Business, unless you're going to be investing a shit ton of bread, which a lot of people don't have. Study exchange, if you're a student, you know what I mean? But just saying, hey, I am such and such, I don't know anyone in America, but I like the country, I love the country, I want to become an American and do it legally. It don't work like that. Essentially, you have to be bringing something to the table. And when you're dealing with violence in your own country, cartels and fucking lawlessness, and quote unquote America and safety is right there, I see why people may want to skip this step so that they can be in a better and a safer environment. That's all I'm getting at. I mean, like, this shit is crazy. Not let alone there's costs and fees, there's waiting periods, there's applications and interviews. It's fucking crazy. All right. So again, I get, Trump not wanting illegals to be in America, trying to, what do they say? they're eating the dogs and eating the cats of the people that live here, and smuggling drugs and guns and crime and all of that shit. Obviously, we don't want the bad here, and no country wants the bad there. You know what I mean? But I just feel like sometimes they make it seem like everybody who's here illegally is bad, and that's not the case at all. So look, take it what you want from it. There's going to be good and bad, and everything remains to be seen. I think this, while there are political benefits or potential benefits, it's important to note that Trump's presidency could also bring challenges, all right? Especially if there's a stricter immigration policy affecting the Dominican diaspora, or increased tariffs, whatever that word is, impacting trade. However, for certain sectors and under specific conditions, Trump winning could present opportunities for growth and collaborations. All right. So, like, it could make it harder for Dominicans. All right, like sending money and selling products, but it also might help in some ways, like bringing more tourists to the country. The country would need to be ready for changes and try to work with the U.S. on new rules and plans. So that does it for the video. It was short. Let me know if there were some benefits that I missed. Maybe there's things that Trump has talked about in regards to the Dominican Republic. Maybe if you're currently living there in the DR, there's some things that you can put in the comment section that will be better for you guys or worse. You know what I mean? I saw something on Twitter. There was like a banner on one of the major highways in Santo Domingo supporting Trump. So look, let us know. Was Trump's administration beneficial for people in the DR prior? Was it worse? Are you concerned? Let us know in the comment section. Again, these are just some of the things that I've been reading. I figure I share with you guys. My take on it is this, man. Like, we still gotta go to work. We still gotta provide for our family. We still gotta stay safe. I wish the best for everybody in America and in the DR and all over the world. All right, so Trump winning, hey, it is what it is. I honestly could care less. Like, I still got work the next day. You know what I mean? So I know there's a lot of people that's upset by it. I'm not like upset by it. Like, Kamala had some shit with her too. So, but again, I don't know what she would have done for the DR. I don't know what Biden has done for the DR. So, all right, I'm gonna get up out of here. Like the video, comment down below, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.